now we're moving on. Hey, we're moving on to someone who's amazing, a friend of ours, NICOLE Ajimal. Hello. She's an amazing designer, weaver to the stars, and she is working for WGSN, and she's going to be talking about trend. So, NICOLE, if you want to share your presentation, lots of luck, and we'll have some questions at the end as well. Hopefully everything runs smooth. So I'll leave you to it. See you in about 15.
Perfect. Thank you. So let me just get my presentation up. So to introduce myself, my name is NICOLE Ajimal, and my current role at WGSN is the Fabric and Sourcing Strategist, which basically means that I create reports for the textile forecast, sourcing guides, catwalks, trade shows, sustainability and innovation. And at university, I studied textile design and specialised in woven fabrics. So I'm a weaver first and foremost, but over my career, I've worked with different brands such as Timberland, ASOS, Burberry, Tommy Hilfiger and Calvin Klein. And I've been able to kind of go into different areas. So fabrics, trims, colour and packaging, research and development. On the right of the presentation, you can see some of my examples of my hand-woven and hand-dyed fabrics. And I think this really started like my love and understanding of denim. And I brought the complexity of weaving and kind of challenged traditional techniques. After uni, WGSN actually wrote an article about my work. So it's nice to come full circle and be creating the reports. To introduce WGSN a little bit, we're the world's leading trend forecasting company, and we accurately forecast consumers, lifestyle and product design trends to really empower our clients and give them the opportunity to make confident decisions and adapt to stay ahead of this ever-changing consumer landscape and climate priorities. The beauty of WGSN is that there's a real unique blend of global expert insights, data and analytic tools, and cross-industry knowledge, which really helps businesses to focus on the right trends, especially at these uncertain times. You know, they have a huge dependency on us. We work with different areas in the fashion industry, so from global brands, supplier chains, fiber companies, and in particular, to denim laundry clients as well. And if you can see on the screen, we've got some figures, and basically we release over 160 monthly reports, so very busy, and we track across 128 countries for like real deep local insights. In this graph, there's quite a bit of information, but basically it breaks down how we arrive at the trends and how all these ideas are woven together. And I love it because it looks like a piece of fabric. Starting with the first column, observe, you'll see that we really value our data team to collect figures and keywords from social media, catwalks and brands. And along with WGSN expert knowledge through sustainability experts, designers, color forecasters and consultants, to then foundational research where we look at our STEPIC process, which means society, technology, environment, politics, industry and creative culture. Blending like all that information together, and as we move through the graph, we're then able to create forecasts taking into consideration global representation, which is super important, diversity and inclusion, sustainability, and data validation. This then feeds into things like market analysis, case studies, city guides, design resources, and so on. Obviously, on this image on the screen, you might not be able to see, but if you want to have a closer look at the graph, you can check out our website. I just want to point out one part that I love is the STEPIC process at the bottom left in the observe column. And as I started working at WGSN, this breakdown really helped widen my research. So I was able to kind of like tap back into how I would develop projects at uni, by not only looking at fashion and textiles for inspiration, but also considering those pillars of STEPIC being society, technology and politics and stuff. And how they really feed into art, culture, product design and innovation. which is something that you don't always have the advantage of doing when you're working to tight deadlines and in big corporations. So why are trends so important? As I touched on in the last couple of slides, it really helps companies to invest in the right products at the right time. We're able to track consumer behaviors, which is really important for brands and suppliers. As I said, they want to be able to invest in a product that will sell, along with ensuring equality and responsible sourcing. And our job is really to highlight innovation and sustainability within the industry and share this information on new developments that are happening and kind of set an industry standard. So how is the research executed? An area that we report on is trade shows, and I get to travel and experience all of this, which is definitely a perk of the job. It's amazing to be able to meet people from all over the world. This opportunity really gives it gives me an opportunity to speak with industry experts, for example, people like suppliers, buyers and designers, and discuss progress and challenges within the industry. Especially when it comes to sustainability, obviously it's such a tricky subject and a difficult one to understand. When doing a sourcing and development role, I would say a lot of the job really is about maintaining relationships. So it's super important to speak to different people and suppliers all over the world and collect different opinions. From all of this information, it helps me to build my own understanding and knowledge and really trust my intuition when sourcing fabrics. I would say intuition is probably quite a big part of the job, and having confidence in what you're selecting. And when you first start out, it's quite scary. But you get into a routine and find your own way of working with it. And some advice that I would give is don't be afraid to ask questions. This industry is forever changing and there's so much to learn, which really is the beautiful thing about materials and textiles, and one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about it. On the screen, you'll see one of the trends that I've picked up, and this was featured in my Denim Premier Vision report from Berlin. And the story is focused on deconstructed techniques, which highlights distressed and eroded textures that are built through things like jacquards, laser and patching techniques. So there's kind of like a hint of sustainability here. And this is probably one of our most fashion-driven trends. So there's quite a lot of character in the fabrics, which probably wouldn't be applicable to all brands. The couple that I want to point out are ISCO's development, where they've lasered away the floats on the fabric construction to create this detailed repetitive design. And Bossa, they've built this playful fuzziness through cut floats to add nice height and volume to the fabric. So yeah, super interesting techniques there. As I said, the one before is definitely a fashion focused trend, but we don't only look at the bolder trends, we also have to look at the subtleties in fabrics. And these trends are definitely a little bit harder to find, as that's where your fabric knowledge and experience comes in. So you need to have an understanding of what the mass market needs. The trend on the presentation here is one from Kingpin's show in Amsterdam. And again, this is a screenshot from the report that I wrote. And basically this highlights the undyed and unprocessed trend, which can be a great update for core fabric selections. And basically your core fabric selections are the ones that brands would invest in and have them running throughout the year. So no matter of the season or the trends that are happening, we keep it very sustainability focused, with considerations for fiber and production. And with this story in particular, it embraces natural ecru shades of untreated basis. So again, ones that I would like to highlight are the Freedom Denim one in the bottom middle there. They've included a seeded denim, which shows natural visible cotton seeds within the fabric, and then Alta Blue in the top right, which have like a slubbed yarn for that subtle texture and authentic denim feel, given the base a lot of character. So yeah, sustainability and innovation, as everyone knows, is becoming more and more important for brands and suppliers to meet these sustainability targets. And I think it can be really difficult for trends to align with these targets. So it's definitely a challenge for us. And we definitely need to consider the like unsustainable consumption and kind of work in harmony with nature. So be conscious about what we're sharing. I think this kind of ties back into why trends are important, as consumers are definitely more aware of the impact and they want to invest their money into brands with a good ethos. So the points on the screen, they're basically a breakdown of areas that need to be investigated when claiming a sustainable product. And as I said, like it's working at WGSN as advisors, we need to make sure that we're clear about what information we hand over, as you know, we're really focused on supporting communities and having a positive impact on people, the planet, and the customers that we serve. So we also cover catwalks, and we have a catalogue of 3 million catwalk images, which spans over 20 years of every major show. Reporting on the catwalks basically helps us to support and inform our trends that we create at WGSN, as well as, you know, of course, being inspired by them. We look for common themes by focusing on things like fabric qualities, washes, trims, and then styling. And then for street style, another area that we focus on, basically this informs us on how people wear the products and how they're influenced by the trends. So these images can be places like fashion weeks or festivals, and luckily some members of our team get paid to go to these festivals to take photos, which is definitely another perk of the job. But basically what's important about the street style is that there's an individual aspect to it. So as people create their own emotional connection with the pieces, we can see how it translates from the catwalks and stores to personal styling. At WGSN, we look at over 100,000 social media posts monthly, checking what the influence is, as well as over 10,000 brands across 200 retailers, collecting product data from major global e-commerce sites, and then basically that enables us to assess the strengths of the trends over time. So yeah, that's basically a quick introduction to WGSN. And yeah, as Mohsin said, if anyone's got any questions, then feel free to ask.
Thank you so much. And wow, what that, aren't we? So it's so cool actually hearing from someone like yourself, who is a designer, who understands fabric, who's a weaver, and now you're in a position where you're picking trends out, you're influencing the market. It's actually quite cool that we got you in front of us. Any questions for Nicole, guys, about trend? Here's your opportunity to ask her. And come to the front. Yep, come straight to the front. That would be awesome. Hello, yeah.
Are you still seeing sustainability as more of a trend or like a mainstay in denim? Because like the level of greenwashing things going on, I know a lot of people saying that these brands are basically greenwashing. Do you think it's gonna stay like this forever, like people are gonna keep focusing on sustainability for people? What do you think is the plan for self growth?
Do you think sustainability is a trend, like Nicole? That's the question.
Is it a trend?
Are brands doing more sustainable things because it's trendy, because most of them are greenwashing?
Yeah.
Greenwashing question.
Yeah, I would definitely say a lot of people are. It's actually become illegal to greenwash in the UK now. So they've brought a law, I think it came in end of last year. So yeah, you know, people, as the understanding comes about what sustainability actually means, companies won't be able to get away with it. But I mean, you find it with suppliers, even with brands everywhere. And again, I think it's just a lack of knowledge, but also wanting to sell products as well. So I feel very passionate about it, and I make sure that in my reports, you know, I kind of do my research and make sure it's clear about what that means in terms of sustainability and whatever I'm talking about.
Great, thank you very much.
Okay, any other questions, guys? Otherwise, I'll have a nice chat with Nicole for a minute or so. Anyone got a question for Nicole? No. Nicole, what's one of the best places for trend when you go traveling? What have you found? Best places you've visited so far?
I mean, I love going to trade shows because, like I said, it's a real mix of people. It's not only people who actually wear denim, but also people who make denim. So you can have those real nerdy conversations, which is always fun. But yeah, otherwise, just like, I guess, being out and about and kind of seeing all these products in action and how people respond to that. Like, that's also a super important thing, because brands can make whatever they want, but if no one buys it, then it doesn't really, or no, not necessarily buy it, but if no one reacts to it, then it doesn't necessarily mean much, right?
Right.
So
Absolutely. We got a question that's come through. Go for it, madam.
Are you still do it for the people going or analyze data?
It's a question about AI and analyzing data. What was up there? Do you use AI when you're researching trends? I guess it's like, you know, that kind of sort of analytical work in your work. Do you do that, Nicole?
I have to say, like, data isn't my strongest point. But I think that the data team have all kinds of ways of being able to collect all of this data, and they're super knowledgeable in their area. But basically, I think I know what you mean, and we do take like the catwalk images and kind of scan it in that sense and pick up on like keywords to help us be able to create like percentages or kind of find common themes within those within that data. So yeah, but you'd have to speak to a data person because it's not my area, unfortunately.
Is it verbal or like visual, Nicole? Quite more like visual, because WGSN is more like visual, right? So yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's definitely like imagery first, and then the text backs up those images.
Thank you. I think that might be it. Oh, we got one more question. Oh, we got a question that's just come through. Nicole, what do you think about knit denim? I've got things about. I know my response.
I mean, yeah, I'm a weaver, so I'm always going to prefer woven fabrics, but there's definitely some cool innovations with knitted denim, and I think it definitely brings a level of comfort for the wearer, and also with the knit construction, because of its natural stretch, there's no need for added elastane. So if someone wants something that's a little bit more wearer friendly, let's say, then yeah, knit's okay. But personally, I'm a weaver, so I'm always going to go for classic twill.
Just following up on the knit stuff, actually, there's so much development going on with jacquard as well, guys. There was some jacquards. It's some of the stuff that you saw on Nicole's presentation was actually jacquard that they were playing with. So the world of jacquard is quite exciting too. One more question that's come. I'll just answer. Are the trends, are they still recommended to clients to produce sort of these sort of garments? So I think it's regarding trend. It's just more about, should we be doing this kind of trend work? Current trends are seemingly undermine what's going on in sustainability. I guess that dress that was sprayed on quite recently, that's not sustainable. So we might be promoting the wrong things when it comes to trend, right?
I mean, it's a complicated question because I think there's still room for art in fashion, and that's super important. And I think the combination of art and innovation is then where you kind of get like these amazing technologies. Yeah, I guess it depends on what the end use is, right? Because we can make beautiful pieces, but if you're going to keep it for a lifetime and then pass it down to like a family member or whoever, then, you know, it's always going to be special and it might not necessarily be sustainable. But the sustainability is more focused on the mass market. So your brands like Primark, H&M, these kind of people.
Amazing stuff. You were amazing yet again, Nicole. Thank you so much for your time. And
No, it's great to talk.
thank you. And thank you also for doing such a great presentation. Oh, and it looks like our next speaker is already here. But thank you again, Nicole. And we'll be seeing you again soon and see you in Amsterdam, Nicole, right? So
Yep,
see you soon.
see you in Amsterdam. Bye.
Thank you.